Good chilly morning to you all. It's Friday, November 5th, maybe? And it's chilly. It's not raining. It's not snowing. The sun is trying to shine. I noticed the wood pile's getting down, so in the porch area here. So I think I'll see if the side-by-side will start. Maybe put a load on and bring it in. I'm not completely out of wood here, but I'd rather do it on a day when it's sort of nice. Daisy says she's going to help me. Right, Daisy? Oh, sure. She's ignoring me. I've just got Bobby's truck started because it hasn't been running in, 10 days? And I know last year he had a terrible battery in that thing. And after 3 days it'd be dead. So I thought, well, I'll charge it up, let it sit there and run. Hate to just let it run with the price of gas, but I hate to wreck a battery too. Well, let's see if this beast will start. You coming? Oh, that was a dumb question, right, Mom? Of course you're coming. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about buying one of these things. Oh gosh, I know it's a little bit more money, like I think it's $1,000 more than a four-wheeler, but I really like it because you're not straddling something, you're sitting in a seat. You've got a steering wheel like normal, but you can go off-roading with it and have fun. But then I can make it work too. And this here, you just pull that lever and it dumps. The tailgate goes down just like a normal thing. So for cleaning up the yard or like this, bringing in some wood, this is just an awesome rig. I never thought I'd be back to burning wood again. It's so messy and time consuming. You make a mess wherever you're cutting it. You make a mess when you put it in front of the wood stove. But you get warm quite a few times through this wood. You get warm when you're cutting it. You get warm when you're loading it. You get warm when you're piling it here. And I'm going to get warm putting it in here and taking it to the house and putting it in the woodshed. So you get warm quite a few times with one piece of wood. Oh, we got to get some more wood for the winter. Bob will probably do that when he gets home. But anything I can do to help him. You know, he works hard for 2 weeks. He's off for 2 weeks. But you don't want that whole 2 weeks to be working. But that's the thing about homesteading, is there's always something to do. If you think you're gonna just sit back and it's gonna be so relaxing and I'll have all this time in the world, no, you're gonna have no time. You're gonna be cutting wood. You're gonna be getting your water. You're gonna be doing your solar. If you have animals, which I don't have animals, it's the first time in my life I haven't had animals. But if you had animals, then every morning you got to go out and you got to do the chores. You got to see if they've got, food, water. If the water's froze, you got to thaw out the water. Other people that work with Bob at the gold mine, they go home for the 2 weeks. They go four-wheeling, they go fishing, they go hunting. They sit and they watch TV. They drink maybe a lot of beer. But that's their choice. This is our choice. And it seems like a lot of work. But, going off grid and having to do this again. And I swore I would never have a wood stove again. But after you pay that fuel bill in our old place, by the time you pay the propane for the year, you pay the hydro for the year, it was like, I don't know, just money down the toilet, I guess you could say. It's just a waste of money and that work that Bob had to go and make. Now, mind you, I have worked in my life. It was when we moved up here, I quit my job to move up here. But, and I had cows and pigs and chickens, laying hens, meat birds. I've had turkeys, I've had ducks. I've had the odd goat. But now I'm just too old. And I don't want the tie down of animals. I would love to have laying hens again, but it's the issue of the water right now. When we get the water system, so we're not living off water in a tote, and I have to wait. Like this week, I'm scrimping on water because the tote's full when Bobby leaves, but then it's gone. Like I've only got a little bit more water, so I'm conserving. So I don't want chickens, I don't want pigs, I don't want anything like that that would be drinking that water. But when we have it all set up, and I just have to go down and press a button and turn the pump on to fill the tote, then maybe I will get a few chickens. Because I'm quite happy just being here. I know chickens tie you down, any animal ties you down because you have to be here. You can't go on vacations unless you get somebody to come and look after your animals. It's not like when you're living in the city. If you want to go somewhere, you just pack your bags and you're gone. Well, homesteading's a different style of life, but I really like it. It suits me just fine, and being here on the family farm, well, it's not much of a farm now, it's all grew up in trees, but being on the family property means something to me, and it really means a lot to me that Bob loves it here. He loves the land, he loves the location. It's just, when he comes home, he's working, but he's doing stuff he loves, and that is the key. If you hate it, why do it? Anywho, this is ready to go to the house. As soon as she hears this thing start up, she's, yay, going for a ride. Oh. We got a bit of snow on the ground. Ground's a little stiff. That looks good right there. Now I'm just going to unload it. And the part I like is that we have this deck here. You know, it's a waist height. So I'll just set everything here. And then I'll go in here and I'll pick it up and put it in there. Gosh, the wind is really blowing in this direction. Not too often I wear a hat, but with this wind today, and it's cold. This is maple. I don't see any cherry. There is cherry in here somewhere. My one son brought up a load of maple and cherries for me because he knew that I didn't have much wood, and so he brought a whole load up because he works with Bob up at the gold mine. So he brought a load up for me, which was great. I'd have to say that one's a cherry, maybe. See the difference? little bit redder. I find that birch, you know, works just as good. I like it. I like the birch bark on it. The birch bark lights real quick. Preparing for winter. There we go. That should do me a day or two. You can sure tell the difference in the color of the cherry and the maple. And then that's the wood I cut. And it really starts the fire good. If there's a bit of coals in the bottom in the morning, I just put a few of those in and set the rest on. I haven't started the fire in 4 days. It's still going in the morning, like just coals are there in the morning, and away I go. Now next on my list of things to do, now that I've got the wood all put away, is I went shopping yesterday just to top up some things. And I don't know if you guys had these jars down in the US or UK or wherever you are, Australia, and they had, whoops, like a ring on it like that, and then you had the glass, and then the big lid. But these were in Canada, and on the bottom they always stamp the date. This one's 1940, as you can see. Now these jars mean a lot to me, and my mom gave me them, some of them, a whole box of them, and they were in the farmhouse when she moved out, and she gave them to me. Now this farmhouse, we moved on to it in 1971, and before that it was my dad's parents, and before that it was my dad's parents, third generation, and yeah, so these jars could have been, well, 1940, they could have been my great-grandparents. So I use them for my storage jars. Why not? Instead of buying Tupperware or plastic containers, and with the lid, you know, they're airtight. So I just bought some stuff because you never know what's going on in this world, and I just want to be prepared. You can always make a pot of beans. If you got nothing else to eat, a pot of beans will be wonderful. And soup. You can make soup out of anything. I can go out there and get a ruffed grouse, you know, fry up its the breast of it, throw in a couple carrots and a piece of celery, this mix, and you've got something that's really good to eat and will sustain you if there's nothing else to eat. So yeah, so I just use my, it's just like canning. So that one needs a little topped up, so I got another bag of macaroni, and I just keep them topped up, especially in the wintertime, because I don't go to town that often. So I need a good supply of stuff, and you don't know, the way things are now, what our supply chain is going to be. So yeah, it's dry, I can see what's in it. Bugs aren't going to get in it. Moisture's not going to get in it. And yeah, I just love them. And they work really well with this farmhouse, cabin, kitchen, whatever we want to call this place. So yeah, so I got the beans. Now, I don't know if that's going to fit, but we shall see. And you could always, if you're not an avid cook and you're not sure, you could cut out the recipe and put it in the jar. Sometimes they do have a good recipe if you've never made something before. So now these, of course, what are they called? Navy beans? I'm not sure why they're called navy when they're white, but anyways. Oh, you can make so many baked bean recipes out of this. Yeah, and then I'll just put this away, and I will use this first. There's all different sizes of jars, and uh-oh. Now, why did you do that? Yeah, I wish I had more of these size jars. But I will clean up this mess. And I will carry on. And I will find something else to do. Now my Hoosier cupboard here is getting a little full. Haven't decided, I don't, because this is a new place, don't have any shelves made yet for all my canning. I'm sure Bob will work at that for me, but I don't know. I like the look of the jars, and you can see at a glance what you have. Oatmeal, you've got some pasta for a soup, you've got macaronis, you got rice, cereal, and then all my spices, sort of in alphabetical order. Okay, so sage does not go with the C's, but nice hooked on phonics there, Cindy. But yeah, keeps everything dry. I can see it at a glance, and I just love my jars. And like I said, there's a date on the bottom of every one of them. This one is 1932. So, yeah. So that's my Hoosier cupboard and my jars. Now, what am I going to do for the rest of the day? Well, it's 12 o'clock. No. Yes. What time is it? Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. Lunchtime. Biggest decision of my day is what to have for lunch. And you see full cupboards, I see nothing to eat. But since there's just me here, oh, I bought this Irish stew without looking at the ingredients. MSG. Guess I won't be eating that. I think I'll go with just making a sandwich. Chunks of chicken. Do I want chicken or do I want ham? Gosh, another dilemma. I think I had ham last time, so maybe I'll make chicken. Okay, so let's see if my celery. Now you hear that crunch? This is the best thing that I have found to keep my celery in. It's a Tupperware container. I think it's for bread, but I put it in the fridge and it seems to last forever. I think this is like maybe 2 weeks old and it's not limp like it does get if you put it in that crisper. Okay, so here's my favorite knife. We all have a favorite knife, don't we? Let's give that a rinse. Oh, didn't mean to use that much water. I'm getting low on water. Probably don't need all of this.
sometimes. If I'm feeling lazy, I don't even put celery in it. Gosh. If Bob was home, I might have made a soup or something too and had soup and sandwich. Oh, come on, you didn't even get a bowl out. Gosh, what are you doing, girl? Little bowl, big bowl. Oh, probably just a little bowl. Now, never seen chicken with, but it didn't gel. Usually there's a gel on that. That's weird. That is really weird. What's it say? Chunks of chicken. Product of the USA. Prepared for Maple Leaf Foods in Mississauga. Chicken, water. Okay. Huh. That's weird. Never had one. Usually they're like ham, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. This is going to be different. Sort of looks like a slimy mess, doesn't it? Ooh. Okay, oh well. Add some celery to it. Oh yeah, like that's the ratio of celery to chicken is a little outnumbered, but oh well. Oh boy, and do I have that wood stove going today. Woo! Just a couple little sticks in there now, and it's warmed up here really nicely. I think it's because the sun's out today. I should be outside celebrating the sun. And I notice it sure is, I don't know if it's actually charging the batteries or if it's just used in the house for what, I can hear the fridge running. I think we need some pepper or something in there. That's all really sloppy. Really sloppy. Maybe see if I can smoosh that chicken into smaller pieces to get that mayonnaise all soaked up. Pepper? Yeah. Do I have any? Next question. Yep. Okay, now. Three pieces of bread. Yeah, I should only have two, but oh well. Now I don't put butter or margarine on here. I would if it was going to be like a packed lunch, but when I'm going to eat it right away quick, it's got mayonnaise in there. It's not going to be dry. There we go. Lunch is ready. Took me like 2 seconds. After I eat this, then what am I gonna do? So lunch for me is usually, well, when Bob's not here, is usually sitting at my desk and I play a game of Candy Crush Soda Saga and eat my lunch while I play.
and then it's find something else to do. Okay, so I thought it was 12, it was 1, and now it's 1:30. Bob calls me every day at 2 o'clock. So I really can't start anything or go too far away because he's on night shift, so he's just getting up and then he's got to go and have his breakfast, which is supper, and go to work. I've got to be in the pit at 5 o'clock, so I don't venture too far away, and then I'll go outside or find something to do. Well, I guess while I wait for Bob, I will clean up the kitchen again. I emptied the dishwasher. We got an Amana dishwasher, and it uses way less water than most dishwashers, which was important for me, right? Having limited water. And it uses less water. I think it does a rinse, and then a wash, and then a rinse. But it lasts for an hour, you know. And it's got a filter on it, so it filters the water. And the first rinse takes off most of the big stuff. But yeah, this is what I do. I'm just waiting for Bobby to phone me and slowly getting things organized. So this sort of looks like a house. It's hard when you move from 2,400 square feet into under 1,000. Just finding a spot for everything and purging things I don't really need, which for me is hard. Like, I won't get rid of anything that was family. Any of my antiques that are family, I'll keep. I'm debating on getting rid of the big grain cleaner that I use for an entertainment center because it takes up a lot of room. I have my TV on it and the VCR goes on it, and then all the movies sit on a shelf. And it was really nice in my sitting room at the other house, but since I only have the living room, and I do have 2 other large pieces that were family. One was my great grandparents. So definitely keeping it in the family. So it might have to go because I just don't have the room. And as much as I really like that piece, well, that didn't wash very good. As much as I love the piece, what I think I'll do is, I bought it at a garage sale or auction sale, something like that, and nearby, and I know that the daughter of the guy that I bought it off of, she lives in the area, and she might like it because it was her grandfather's originally. And that's what I did with the, I had one of those Wayscale coffee table things, and again, there was no room in here for it. So I called her and I said, do you want this before I put it on a Facebook garage sale? And she phoned her dad and said, you know, was this really my great-grandfather's? And he said, yes, it was. So she come running right over, and I only charged her what I paid for it because it was going to family. It would have been more money if I had to put it on the garage sale, but I got out of it what I put into it,
And I had refinished it, and it was really a beautiful piece. But I didn't need it anymore. So, yeah. So, I usually only do the dishes when I'm out of coffee cups. So, once every maybe 3 days. Oh, I have to hand wash that one because it was, I think it said only the best mums get promoted to grandma. And I didn't realize that you weren't supposed to put it in the dishwasher the first time, and the lettering came off a bit. Aww. But my oldest son gave me that, and his wife, and Aubrey's parents. So anywho, so I'll just finish cleaning up the dishes here and wait for Bobby. You better check the water situation. Uh-oh. Let's see now. There's the water level there. I only have till there. Well, there might be enough. It was, I got 45 gallons in that. If I turn the pressure tank off below it, I can use most of that. But I was just deciding if I should be using the indoor bathroom or if I should be going to the outhouse. I could probably go to the outhouse anyways. Save the water for, because Bob will fill it up for me when he comes home Tuesday morning, but then he'll probably want to sleep for a couple hours, so about 3 o'clock on Tuesday. He'll fill that up again for me. I have a couple 5-gallon pails here that I use for flushing the toilet, and they are catching rainwater off the roof. And a few nights it had snowed, so when the snow melted, it dripped, and it gave me enough to flush the toilet, so it's free water. The sunshine today sure is charging everything nicely. I have 67, 68 volts going in. So that's like the batteries. It's showing that it's charging here. Plus there's a dot there that turns on when it's charging. Yeah, so, and that's the solar panel it shows. And then that is this thing here, right there. So it's going from the solar panel into this thing. It's going into, some is going into the battery, and some is going to run whatever might be running at the moment in the house. So still waiting on Bob to FaceTime me. So I can't do anything, but anywho. So the electrician was here for 2 hours, setting up some more stuff. It's also fiddly, you know, setting up breakers. What's he got there? Nothing's behind the door. Not sure what this is, but he's got the big cables, the arrays hooked up. Yeah. Glad I'm not an electrician. I could figure all this out. Okay, it's Friday night. Come on, girl. Didn't have to ask her twice. You crazy girl. Yes, you got your stuffy. Yes. You're crazy dog. You know, other dogs laugh at you when they see you. Aw, did I make you feel bad? Let's go for a ride. I think I'll go get the mail and then go to, we have a 2-acre lot that we had bought years ago. It was across from our old farm, and it's got a garage on it. And I want to measure the height of my great uncle Thompson's butcher block. I think I want to put wheels on it. I hate this corner. Well, it's not a corner.
But I sit here and sometimes somebody comes flying up over that hill. But okay, let's go this way. Gotta go north to get our mail, even though there's nothing north of us. And this is all ours here, all the way to the corner. This was all, there wasn't a tree on it 17 years ago. Well, sorry, I lied. All these trees were knee high 17 years ago. Walked around that field, so yeah. So goes all the way to that corner. But now I'm going to a little place called Clute, Ontario, and so this field here was my great grandfather's when they settled in 1925, and brought my grandmother up. She walked to the Clute School and finished her schooling there with her younger brothers. And yeah, Clute was quite a community. Used to have a 3-room school, I think. Yeah, and of course, like in the 1960s, when all the schools shut down, it shut down too, and everybody was bused to into Cochrane. Used to have its own fair. Yeah, I can't imagine there being that many people that live there that they'd have their own fair. And now it's just a handful of people. I don't know if I said before that World War II played its toll on Cochrane. All the farmers, every lot up here, well, I shouldn't say every lot, most of the lots, like you see this lot here, see how there's fence post, or maybe I'm going too fast, see how there's page wire fence, holding in bush. Used to be all farmed. Used to be 3 stores. 4. Used to be one on every corner, and actually 2 on this corner, and that's what's left of this store. That's the only store that's left. The rest have been tore down years ago. Well, I'm gonna go get my mail. That used to be my grandfather's house in the 1980s. There's just mainly one farmer, some big cash croppers. But Bob Webster, he said that when he walked to school down this road, there was a lot on, there was a farm on every lot. You see all these new trees here. It used to be all cleared, and there's actually a barn that fell down recently back there. But yeah, now there's just page wire holding in trees. Used to be cattle. Used to be a lot of potatoes. A lot of seed potatoes came from Cochrane. And yeah, when the war hit and all the men went to war, the women couldn't survive on their own up here homesteading, so they all drove, or probably took a train to Toronto, which would probably take them all day back then, and they got jobs in factories. And that was it. When their husbands came home from war, they had good jobs. They didn't want to come back up here. So if they hadn't patented their land, then it just went back to the crown. And I gotta slow down for this bridge. It's like, oh my gosh. One of these days, one of these days I'm gonna end up in the drink. Yeah, so a lot of it went back to the crown. Some of it was
bought by farmers that were wanting to expand. But yeah. But now, because of what's going on in the world, we've seen a lot of new people move up to Cochrane because the land was cheap. They could homestead up here. So I hope they make out okay. I wish them all well. And up here, I'll show you another field. See this? Look at all the page wire. Oh, sorry, this one's all barbed wire. Somebody had cleared all that land, spent their 10, 20 years clearing that, and now it's all grown back up in trees. This field behind us, it used to be part of our property. We called it the back 300 acres. We sold it, and somebody from down south bought it and is renting it out to somebody else, and it's nice to see that the ground's worked up and something's going to be done with it. This field here was another farm that we owned, and I think it was only 125 acres, this one, and we sold to a local farmer, and I think he planted oats on it this year, and it joined our old farm. I don't know if you can see the buildings there. That's our old farm. It's on the outskirts of a little wee village. Now this is our old farm to the right of us here. And then we bought this lot right here. It's a 2-acre lot. We more or less just bought it because we didn't want somebody else buying it and building a house or something and then complaining about, oh, the cows make a stink or the cows make too much noise. So yeah, so we used it as a storage shed, and of course it's got a lot of our stuff in it here. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or what we're going to do with it. See, I told you it's right full of stuff. Gosh, but there's the old butcher block. That was my great uncle Thompson's. Okay, it is up on a piece of plywood. I was hoping it wasn't face down in the on the cement, but I just want to measure it and see how high it is. If we should put wheels on it. It says it's 31 inches high. I think. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Cindy, there we go. Keeps cup. Okay, 31 and a half or 32. So, yeah. Okay, so, well, there's all my old jugs. Oh, so much stuff in here. I'm wishing well, all this stuff eventually will come home. And then I don't know what to do with it. Now this is our event center, arena, swimming pool. It's called Tim Hortons Event Center. And it's called that because Tim Hortons, yes, the guy that made the coffee, he was from Cochrane. Our water tower with a polar bear on it. And tonight is Friday night, and it's Friday night, which is date night. Now, I guess we haven't been on a date in a year and a half. But, so I'm gonna go date night by myself. Whoop, where's my mask? I'll put my purse back up here, get my mask.
There we go. Who doesn't need a Mr. Big? What else did I want? Order my supper. See what it actually is first. It might not be something I want. I forget what Friday night is. What's for supper tonight?
There's one more Salisbury steak and it's ham and scalloped potatoes.
I would love a Salisbury steak.
Okay, so let me double check. Yes, it's the last one.
Okay, sounds good.
We're
I
all
don't-
out of the buns.
Pardon me?
We're all out of the buns.
That's fine. And don't give me fork, knives, napkins, stuff.
Sure.
Yep,
So
yep.
just the dinner?
Yep, just the
Okay.
dinner. I thank you.
Good night. Enjoy.
You too. Daisy will be on the floor, under the steering wheel, in her safe place. And I gotta wait for her to pull herself up. Oh, give me a get over. Oh. Unless you learn to drive, I didn't get you a treat. No, I didn't get you a treat. I didn't get you a treat. Don't be looking at that. That's my treat. I'll get you one when I get home. And I'm back home just to watch the sunset behind the trees. So, dinner for one. Doesn't look too bad, eh? Mashed potatoes, 2 pieces of Salisbury steak, and some corn. And I usually sit at my desk and watch YouTube videos while I have my supper. So it's 8:45 now. I've had the generator running for 45 minutes because the alarm went off, said the batteries were low. So I'm just going to let that run for 15 minutes more, for an hour total. And then I'm probably going to go to bed. Well, thanks for coming and spending the day with me. It was nice having you along and someone to talk to, actually. Oh, love you all. Bye.